Welcome to Top Rope Renegades. It is Wednesday, so that is AEW Dynamite recap from March 27th, 2024. I am Kurt alongside RK. We just finished up watching Dynamite, and overall, what was your takeaway, RK? What did you think of tonight's show?
All right, I'm going to preface this with a disclaimer. I don't hate AEW. I happen to really like AEW. But if there's any AEW diehards listening to this, you might just want to turn it off right now.
All right.
Overall, I don't even know where to begin. I was pumped. We're getting close to Dynasty. You might see some start build towards some matches. Big Will Ospreay Shibata match was happening tonight. I mean, the card looked great, but the whole show kind of fell flat to me. There were some moments, but overall, just didn't hit where I thought it would hit tonight. But that's not a horrible thing. I mean, it happens. Every show can't be a banger, but I don't know. It didn't feel big enough to me of a show getting so close to, the new pay-per-view that's coming up.
Yep, it was based on their last few weeks of shows, this was a low-ish point for AEW in my opinion as well. We kicked things off with, as you said, Will Ospreay versus Shibata, and this match was New Japan strong style ish, hard hitting, clinching, technical wrestling. I do believe that Ospreay was going a little more technical in this match to show to Daniel Bryan that Bryan Danielson, that he can also do the grappling and stuff like that. That's obviously not Ospreay's strong suit. It was just a back and forth of Ospreay hit, a couple high moves here and there from Will, and Shibata doing his hard hitting and his grappling and all that stuff. What did you think overall of the back and forth battle here of Ospreay and Shibata, a rematch from 2017?
I totally understand what they're trying to do, the technical aspect of wrestling that Daniel Bryanson. See, now I'm doing it, Bryan Danielson. And I'm even completely butchering the name, so welcome to my life. But I get it. I don't think Will Ospreay has to do that. I think Will Ospreay should go into that match with his style and force Daniel to adapt. Ospreay is the biggest name in the wrestling industry right now. He's probably the best in the wrestling industry right now. Why not make Daniel adapt to your style? I don't know if he should be trying to adapt to his style. Personally, the technical wrestling is not 100% for me. I get it, but overall, the match itself, I mean, Shibata, 29 forearm nulls, instant kick out of the cutter, sits up instantly after the double underhook driver. I did not buy that Shibata it doesn't make him look strong. It kind of just makes the match look weak, in my opinion. I hate to say it, but this might be the first Will Ospreay match I not dig at all.
Yeah, it was weird. I'm not the biggest fan. There's a point to no sell and there's a point not to no sell. You know what I mean when I say that. I felt like it was overdone a bit in this match, but it is what it is. And then we get the finish of Will Ospreay. He ends up hitting two hidden blades to get the 1-2-3 on Shibata. They shake hands after the fact. And some people will say that was a great match. Some people will say it didn't really hit home for us. Different. People don't view professional wrestling the same. That's how it's going to be. We get a video package right after this. It was just a look at the career of Bryan Danielson and this has been billed this year, 2024, as his final year as a full-time wrestler. Before we carry on, what is one match from Daniel Bryan's career that you think of fondly?
Oh, the triple threat match at WrestleMania, 100%.
Yeah.
The man literally forced himself into the title picture and won the title. I mean,
yeah.
You don't see that happen too often. He wrote his own story. He controlled his own destiny on that one, and he made it happen. And it was perfect. You don't get a much better match than that.
Yeah, I agree. That would be my choice too. That match was fantastic from the Triple H match opening that WrestleMania to get to the triple threat for the main event. It was a really good story all around. We get the Young Bucks talking to Renee Paquette backstage, and then the EVP. The Bucks, they make me laugh. They really do. Just talking about their goals for the year. They retired Sting. Restructured. Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure Sting was already retiring, but okay.
You know what they're doing. Restructuring the Elite by bringing in Kazuchika Okada, and then they want to get their AEW World Tag Team Championships back. And they told us that Lightning will never strike in the same place twice because they will defeat Private Party, who the last time they matched up in a tournament style, Private Party got the upset victory over the Young Bucks. Nice little commercial break.
That was for the first titles, wasn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, no, that little segment, the Young Bucks are hilarious, but I think they might be barking up the wrong tree, picking on Renee like that. I mean, there's a certain man out there that could definitely cause some damage to those two boys, so they should probably be careful.
Moxley will run through them in a heartbeat, I'm sure. We get a little parking lot shot, and the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, has arrived in his new Ferrari. And then clearly, I think it's just funny. So he just showed up, right? So he didn't show up on time, right? But the Bucks want people to be on time and be, it's just funny to me.
It's Okada. He's still on that Japanese time. Okada can show up whenever he wants. One of the biggest names in wrestling. I mean, probably overshadows the Bucks in my opinion. So let him do what he wants.
We get into the next match, which was the quarterfinals between the Young Bucks and the Private Party. I was pretty happy with this match. The Private Party are really, really athletic. They're fun to watch. They're quick. The Young Bucks are the Young Bucks. No matter if you hate them, you like them, whatever. The Young Bucks are still one of the best tag teams in the world.
Yeah, it was a tidy little match. It definitely played to the strength of both teams. They're both high flying teams. A lot of cool moves. Really like the Private Party pulling off the Young Bucks tag team finisher there. Yeah. That was a cool spot. Overall, I mean, not a bad match, not a great match. It was just one of those matches. It did what it had to do.
I like the one spot, the Falcon Arrow off the barricade.
Oh, that could have been so bad. It was so close to the stairs.
Yep.
Oh.
And then the Bucks do end up getting the win after a bit of a distraction back and forth. A nice little low blow cover made. So there was the low blow, and then they're covered by the Young Bucks. Zay from Private Party snuck the title in to a shot in the head. Matthew kicks out, and then they set him up for the EVP trigger. And a nice slip from Nicholas going for the EVP trigger. He was a little late on that one. I thought it was funny. I think I heard a "you fucked up" chant.
I hope. Yeah. Knowing the Bucks, they'll find a way to spin it. They'll make a joke out of it. So.
Nicholas was so angry, and so he just couldn't focus. He was ready to get the job done, and
they'll spin it. There's no way they let that go unnoticed.
It happens to the greats. they'll definitely find a way. We do get a little Darby Allin sighting with Tony Hawk. Just talking to him. It was more of a charity spot there with Tony. Go to skatepark.org to help donate to Tony Hawk. It's to build skate parks everywhere for those that enjoy skateboarding. And we got Darby on crutches, so hopefully Darby gets back soon. Sadly, he won't be able to climb Mount Everest, but I think there's a pretty damn good storyline for when he comes back.
I hope they keep spinning that with Jay White. That'd be a huge story. Hey, Darby, honestly, he needs something to really sink his teeth into now that Stain's gone. I think Darby could be a wicked singles competitor. He just needs the right story, and I think going at it with Jay would be a really good start.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be good. Be very interesting to see Darby in singles competition. Then we get Mercedes Moné shows up in SUV, also showing up really late. Can she also do whatever she wants?
Yeah, she's the CEO.
Valid.
She,
Valid.
she's. I mean, we already pointed out last week. I mean, Tony no longer even owns his own company. It's Mercedes Monet now. So yeah, she can definitely show up late.
Yep, 100%. We get a little backstage segment with Renee, Hook, and Chris Jericho.
Did you say
Uh,
nice?
huh?
You said a nice little segment. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's the right word.
it got a pop out of me, okay? I thought that it was pretty funny. Jericho giving Hook a proposition that basically, after all these years, Jericho will help Hook and help him adapt and give him guidance and advice. And he asked him if he'll accept his help. And Hook says very little, but he says, "Yeah, I know who you are, Jericho, but I also know who you are." And Jericho said, "All right." I just thought I was like, "All right." What made me kind of like laugh thinking in my head, and I didn't say it when we were watching, is so Chris Jericho has formed another tag team.
I don't know if necessarily be a tag team. I mean, we might get some. Oh, it could be. Honest, I don't know where they're going with it. It's a little ambiguous at the moment. Jericho likes to take on these projects of getting the young guys um, over, you could say. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but they could go really anywhere with this. I also did the math on that. Jericho said he's been in the business for 33 years, so that's 91. That's crazy to think. I mean, this
Yep,
dude's been wrestling since 1991. That's wild.
an absolute legend. The next match is the Fatal 4-Way for the number one contender spot for the TBS Championship at Dynasty. The contestants were Willow Nightingale, Anna Jay, Chris Statlander, and Skye Blue. And breaking news, RK, I have talked on the other episodes that I would be sitting down with Ruby Soho this Friday, March 29th, to talk about AEW Dynamite coming to Indianapolis, where I'm from. I had gotten an email today from AEW saying that Ruby was not going to be able to make it to Indianapolis and that they were pivoting, and I would be instead having a nice conversation with Skye Blue.
That's crazy, man. Ruby Soho would have been a great interview.
Yep.
But Skye Blue is such a young talent in the industry. She's got such a bright future ahead of her. Yeah, that's crazy, the late shift on that. I mean, that really only gives you like a day here to figure out what you're going to talk to Skye about.
I'll be okay. I'll be all right. I've been around it enough to know what I need to do, and I'll get it all figured out. But yeah, I'm really excited to talk to Skye Blue. I'm a big fan of hers. And the match last week, we watched the 3-hour version of AEW, I call it, but it was the Rampage main event, the street fight. That's when I really was like, oh my gosh, Skye Blue is fantastic. She's 24 years old. She's got all the potential in the world, and I'm really looking forward to talking to her. So that's a little bit of a breaking news I wanted to share. So me, Skye Blue conversation this Friday. I'll get it, and we'll have it posted so everybody can listen.
Nice, that's awesome. That's going to be a great interview. I'm so excited to hear it. I mean, I'm pumped for it, and that's just so cool.
Yep. I'm happy, and it's a big shout out to AEW for not saying, "Hey, we have to cancel because Ruby can't make it." They pivoted and they gave me another option, and that was Skye. So I'm excited for that. And then I was a little 100%. Excited.
And actually, sorry to interrupt on that, but that's actually a really good point. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not an established radio guy or anything, but it's cool that AEW is reaching out and giving local stations time to interact with their talent. That's so cool.
Communication with AEW and the individual, his name is John, who I've been talking to, has been fantastic. They've been really helpful and really open, and they get back to me quick, and it's been awesome. They've been really helpful in getting this run back around with pivoting, getting Skye Blue, and then also reinforcing that they were still all in and all good for April 16th, the night before Dynamite in Indianapolis, for the in-studio interview that I will be a part of. So all that, of course, is coming up. And then let's get back to the action. We have, as I said, Anna Jay, Willow Nightingale, Skye Blue, and Chris Statlander. I was confused by the booking of this, and I know you were, so I'll kind of let you take it away and explain what the confusion to you was, because we shared this similar sentiments with this.
Yeah, it's It's just, I mean, you got Mercedes Monet there to
Commentary.
start
Yep.
off. I mean, you brought her in. Obviously, she's a big name. She just got there. You don't want to necessarily throw her into a big, important match right off the hop. But then you throw three members that were part of tag team match the previous week, with that being Willow and Chris teaming against Skye and Julia.
Mhm.
And then this is a four-way number one contenders match for Julia's title. So it just the booking and the booking of match doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you it's I just don't understand it 100%. And then you also have Anna Jay in there, who hasn't really been around a lot lately. So it just felt kind of like they picked names out of a hat and went with it. It just I was just so confused with booking.
Yeah, I agree. It was interesting. Um, the match itself, it wasn't bad. I mean, there was a couple good spots. Skye Blue's finisher, the Code Blue, it's so smooth and it's really fantastic. She hit that on Statlander at one point to a kick out. Just a bunch of back and forth. We get a little stare down between Chris and Willow at one point. Skye intervenes with that. We keep on pushing through, and Willow hits a gut wrench power bomb at one point, and then it was a Death Valley driver. She hit Skye with a Death Valley driver on the apron, and went around the ring high-fiving all the fans as Stat and Anna Jay were in the ring, still going at it, and Willow was high-fiving, but then she slid in to hit the gut wrench powerbomb and get the win. So Willow Nightingale is the number one contender. The ending of it after the win still confuses me, because Julia does that. This part didn't confuse me. Julia attacking Willow with the championship, that's fine. But then it was just a stare down between Julia Hart and Mercedes Monet. So why? I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah, I mean, you got the big name in Mercedes. I mean, set something up for the pay per view between Mercedes and Julia. If you're gonna have these stare downs and act like there's something there, set it up, get it done, make it happen. Nobody's gonna question you guys throwing right into.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
but
I won't. I mean, it's a big name. I mean,
mm,
Osprey is going to be thrown into the main title picture very 100%. Okada's already won a title. I
right.
mean, get Monet out there, get her going. Like, if you're going
And
to have these stare downs, then why are we having a thrown together four-way match title shot? I mean, just
there's two
let's just get it going.
two thoughts of thank you for me is maybe Mercedes, they're just gonna go ahead and have her go after Tony Storm in the AEW Women's World Championship, or
But
Willow.
if that was the case, you'd be setting something up there. But right now, they're trying to set something up between her and Julia. So
Right, we still have three
you can't
Dynamites.
just pivot. You can't just pivot back to Tony all of a sudden. Like
Right,
that would make even less sense now because you're setting this up.
and then my other school thought was just thinking, okay, well then that means Willow may beat Julia Hart because there's unfinished business with Willow and Mercedes, but now there's beef with Mercedes and Julia. Hell, this could end up being a triple threat at Dynasty for all we know. We got 3 weeks until it. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm
Actually,
interested to see.
now that you put it that way, I mean, it's a weird way to get there. But yeah, the beef between Willow and Mercedes from New Japan,
Yeah, it's bigger. It's bigger than Julia
and but also now setting up Julia somehow work. I guess that could work. It just seems like a really roundabout way to get there.
because Mercedes is the CEO. She can call the shots.
Well, yeah, she could absolutely. I mean, do you want to go that far and she just puts herself in the match? That might look a little questionable, but anyway,
She's a heel.
I'm just going down a rabbit hole now. Okay, so
Yeah.
anyways, yes, your point is very spot on. There is enough rivalry there that Mercedes Monet could get inserted into the match somehow. That would make a little bit more sense. But as it stands right now, I'm just a little confused on the whole booking.
Yep. We'll see where it goes. We got 3 Dynamites until Dynasty. See how they build that one. We get a little vignette. Timeless Tony Storm with Ben Mankiewicz. I probably said that wrong. I tried my best. From TNT, TBS Timeless Classic Movies. Just a funny little segment with Tony Storm. Her trying to have him repeat Tony's catchphrases, which are, what is it? stand up, tits out, and he said, I'm not saying that. And then she said, watch the shoe, and then threw her shoe, and then we went to
He's
commercial
what
break.
shoe? What are we talking about? Oh, okay, I kind of get it now. Um, yeah, it was a funny little spot. I
Chin
mean,
out, tits up, chin up,
yeah,
chin up, chin out, tits up. That's what it is. Yeah, that it was just a funny little Tony thing, just a little filler, and then we go to commercial break. We'll see what Tony's got coming for her.
I think you might have missed a spot in there. Dustin Rhodes and the Butcher.
Yeah, I was about to. Yep, I mixed them up on my paper. I haven't.
Okay, I was just curious because I'm pretty sure that was before the Tony Storm vignette, but
Yep.
anyways, nonetheless, yeah, we do have that little backstage interaction between Dustin Rhodes and the Butcher, setting up a match for is it this upcoming weekend that match is at? No,
Yeah,
it's Rampage.
This Friday, Rampage. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that'll be a cool little match. The Butcher is established, and Dustin Rhodes is a legend as far as I'm concerned. I'm looking forward to that match.
All I know is your brother needs you, Dustin. All right.
Yeah,
Your
I
brother
mean,
needs you on Mondays. All right.
Dustin already told everybody how he feels about that whole situation. So, yeah, it'd be totally cool to see Dustin go
Yeah.
cheer on his brother. But I mean, we all know the relationship between the two companies right now, so
Yeah.
that's probably not going to happen. But I bet you Dustin is there. I can't see.
Oh yeah, he'll be there. He'll be there. Up next, we get the next quarterfinals match for the AEW Tag Team Championships. It's the Undisputed Kingdom taking on the Best Friends. Little Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta action taking on Taven and Bennett. This match was my second favorite match of the night. We'll get to the main event in a bit. But this was a really good match. I think I agree with you. You've said it before. Orange Cassidy is always just a fantastic watch, isn't he?
He just goes about business. He has a great gimmick. I love his gimmick. The nonchalant whatever. I just it's something that you don't really see anywhere else in wrestling. That kind of I don't give a fuck attitude when it comes to wrestling. But then he does that. But then all of a sudden he flips a switch and he can just do these crazy moves. He's just so good in the ring. His everything about him, I just love the whole package. He might hands down be one of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. You love watching Orange Cassidy in the ring. It was a good match. The usual Orange Cassidy, fantastic tilt to whatever you want to call it, Hurricane Rana cutters and all sorts of stuff. And there was a moment, we'll talk about it. I'm sure you wrote it down maybe, or just remember it, where Tony Schiavone said that Trent Beretta is the most underrated performer in AEW, which I do agree with from an AEW perspective because Trent Beretta is fantastic. Overall, everybody should know how good he is.
Yeah,
But then
I
he
thought
said they can win the whole thing if they compete as a tag team, or they can win the tag team tournament if they are on the same page as a tag team. Like, this is a really good tag team. Have you not been watching?
Well, and also it's a tag team, so they kind of already understand,
No
their
shit,
role.
Tony.
But yeah, it's a little wild saying he's underrated. I mean, I guess to a certain point, but I mean, AEW fans love to claim how they love pro wrestling, and anybody who truly loves pro wrestling will watch all of it. And anybody who's watched any New Japan will know who Trent Beretta is. I mean, Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, Roppongi Vice, they ruled New Japan tag team circuit for many years. There's no way in my mind that I think Trent Beretta is underrated. The dude is an amazing wrestler, and he can still go hard this long after being in the industry. It's just a weird throwaway line from Schiavone there. I mean, what did I say? I think we need MJF back to say,
Shut up.
shut the hell up, Schiavone.
Yeah.
It's just, some of his lines, it's just like, what? But yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
I wasn't sure who was going to win this match. I was thinking maybe the Kingdom would get the win just because of the trying to build up them. But they already have Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. The finish comes with Roderick Strong trying to intervene. Orange Cassidy ends up taking him out. The Spike Pile Driver they go for gets reversed. Stopped. Trent Beretta gets the pin and the win for the Best Friends. They go to celebrate like only they know how and give a big hug in the middle of the ring. But, oh, it's the Young Bucks, and they appear, walk out, stare, point, and walk back and fade into black.
It's I do like the part where they were going back to the platform and it's like, oh yeah, no, their legs are.
Yeah, their legs were tired, man. They had a match.
They work hard. They work hard. They're hardworking guys.
Yeah, they're gonna have a
Yeah,
great.
it's just the Bucks keeping themselves inserted into all. They're smart. They understand what they're doing. They understand the industry. They understand how to keep keep the heat on themselves, and
Mhm.
they just do such a good job at it.
We get real quick Renee talking to Kyle O'Reilly about his big win on Collision against the bounty hunter Brian Cage. I think I said that right. And this Kyle addressing that the roster is deep and he will insist that he will go at it alone on Collision this week. Adam Copeland addressing taking the TNT Championship from Christian Cage, and that the Cope Open is back on Collision this Saturday. So we're going to keep getting Adam Copeland versus, I assume, younger talent and just having good matches with the younger guys.
I do like what Adam is doing right now. He's situated in his role. He came to AEW for a reason. He wanted to be back wrestling with Christian, and at the same time, he's been putting the younger talent over and putting on banner matches with them. I mean, Adam is 50 years old and he can still go. I mean, Christian. I mean, I had to look this up because I think one of them is older than the other, but they were born like a month apart, dead on, like October 30th and November 30th. So, I mean, it's destiny that the two of them probably have had this kind of career together for so long. But yeah, I love what Adam's doing. He's in the twilight of his career, and he's just giving back to the wrestling community and the future of the wrestling industry. It's so good.
Yep, Love Edge, Adam Copeland, legend forever, one of the greatest to ever do it. And that leads us to the main event of the evening. Swerve Strickland taking on Konosuke Takeshita for the number one contender spot for the AEW World Championship. It was, like we said, it was kind of a miss of a night. But the final two matches of the night, the Best Friends and Kingdom, Undisputed Kingdom, and then the main event, at least the final two matches were pretty good. Takeshita is fantastic. I honestly said before the match started to you that I could see this where Takeshita maybe should be the one to win this, even though I have been known to say Swerve Strickland's one of my favorites in wrestling right now. This match was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was a slowish start, and then the forearms, man. Can we talk about the forearms? How hard Takeshita was hitting Swerve?
Yeah, again, it brings me back to like what did Swerve say to him? Like some of those were stiff, and every time I see that, I'm just like, man, these guys these guys talk about doing this and saying, yeah, just hit me, just do it. Let's make it look good. I mean, I wouldn't want to take one of those. I mean, no, that.
Yeah. Back and forth match, hard hitting match. Towards the end, we get the Alpha Takeshita going for his running knee, Swerve catching him, dropping him on the canvas. He goes up top to look for the Swerve stomp, but Takeshita rolls onto the apron, and Swerve still hits the Swerve stomp on the apron to Takeshita. We get back in the ring, countering Swerve again, back and forth. Takeshita hits his wheelbarrow and power knee driver. I thought that might have been the finish. Swerve kicks out of that. Then we get back and forth again. Another Swerve stomp. Swerve goes for the cover. Takeshita kicks out. A couple great near falls right there. And then the big headbutt by Swerve Strickland. A big knee from Takeshita. And then throws him kind of, gets him up in the air, and Swerve hits his stomp again. That was a pretty cool spot, and then he hits the big pressure Swerve Strickland to get the 1, 2, 3. Pretty good match, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that pop up reversal
Yep.
stomp that Swerve did, that was a pretty move. I was like, wow, that's pretty. Swerve got a lot of air on that. That looked good. Overall, yeah, it was a good match. I mean, nothing amazing out of it. I liked it. It was considering how the whole show went, it was easy to see that match definitely stood out. If
Mhm.
the whole show had been a little bit stronger, that match might have, not been as high in my books. I still thought it was a good match, though. It was definitely the best match of it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. So Swerve gets the win. He will be the number one contender to Samoa Joe's AEW World Championship. We get a shot with Renee talking to Samoa Joe and the champ warning Swerve that he is not that man heading into their title match at AEW Dynasty, and he will tell him next week when Swerve goes to sign on that dotted line. Swerve looks happy and he's ready to take him one on one, no distractions, as he said before the main event. So overall, it was not great. It was an okay AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't so bad that I would want to turn it off. There's been definite shows on all the platforms of wrestling that, like,
Yeah.
I'm not even watching this. It wasn't that bad, but it definitely lacked in some areas. And I mean, we were watching together. You heard me yelling at the TV. I was just like, "What are we doing here?" But I mean,
I had to tell you, like, hey,
overall,
breathe.
yeah, calm down. Overall, I think they're furthering some things along, and yeah, I'm not going to say it was a crap show, but I'm not going to say it was a great show. It was a show. Let's just say that.
Well, that is it. That is your AEW Dynamite results from March 27th, 2024. As said in the middle of, before we talked about the Fatal 4-Way for the TBS Championship, I will be not talking to Ruby Soho Friday, March 29th, but instead I will get to sit down and have a conversation with Skye Blue to talk about AEW Dynamite in Indianapolis, talk about Dynasty, the next pay-per-view coming up, and just her in general and her wrestling career so far and what her goals are. She's 24 years old. She's a young rising star in AEW. She's paired with another young rising star in Julia Hart, and just what her future holds for her and see what she's thinking and talking about. And I think she is a part of the Squared Circle Expo happening in Indianapolis, Indiana, a big wrestling convention. So I think that's what she's also in town for. So looking forward to doing that. Any other notes you want to add to tonight's episode, RK?
Nope, not overall. I think I've definitely said what I need to say about the show tonight. So yeah, that's all I got.
Sounds good to me. So once again, stay tuned for the interview with Skye Blue. We'll have it hopefully posted this weekend or early next week. RK, thank you for once again joining me and sitting here and watching wrestling almost every day of the week. WrestleMania week next week kicks off Monday with Monday Night Raw. Stay tuned for that. We're going to have a damn good week next week. Can't wait for it. So thank you so much for listening. And this AEW episode probably wasn't 5 stars, RK, but I think some other things could be.
Well, yeah, Schiavone, I'm sure he'd say it was 5 stars, but yeah. You know what I'm gonna say? 5 stars if we're in the Tokyo.
If we were in the Tokyo Dome, but we are not. But one day we will see. Thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk to you next time.